Constitution when a group of people said, we don't choose to abide by, follow, or be part of this Constitution anymore?
Okay, you have to look at it from the point of view of the President of the United States. The President of the United States says, I'm saying that they're in the United States and I'm going to invade them, which is against the Constitution.
So if
he violated his own Constitution.
If Lincoln had said, I've decided that Canada is inside the United States, and he invaded Canada, he would have been violating the Constitution?
No, because Canada was never in the United States. Matter of fact, you know the
Parts
United States...
of Canada were in the United States. What if he went to Mexico?
Where?
Canada was actually invited to be part of the United States. They were part of it.
That was part of the Northwest Ordinance,
right.
But they never did.
No.
Matter of fact, I'd like to see New
But the
Brunswick
point,
and
no. Go back
States.
to his point.
My question to you is, how can you violate a Constitution that doesn't apply to a group of people who say they're not part of it?
Because
why
he
were
said
they
it did.
invaded?
Because he said it did.
So he said it did, so then why doesn't the government have the power to enforce the laws of the country?
It has to follow the Constitution.
What is the law that it has to follow? Tell me, I'm
The
curious.
Constitution.
Which part?
Amendment 10.
Which says what?
That the states reserve to themselves all rights that are not given to the federal government.
Okay, but the states don't reserve the right to secede.
Yes, they do.
No, they
No,
don't.
they don't.
It says all rights, all rights. It was a unilateral...
So your belief is there's a right to secede?
Yes.
Okay, so if they secede, that's their right. That's
Yes.
your position. So then what prevents the president from going and deciding that he wants to re-annex the territory?
Okay, because that's an invasion.
But that is
But
an
they,
invasion.
but they no longer are part of the
Nothing-
government, according to you.
Nothing did prevent him. No, they said that they weren't. He said that they were. So
Great.
he's violating...
So he goes in
he's
and
violating-
But
he's
the
the
re-annexes
hypocrite.
them.
the president's saying that
He's
some...
the hypocrite because he said, who will pay my taxes? Do you realize that the South was paying 80%, the export duties were paying 80% of the federal government revenue?
And?
Do you know how much Florida was getting out of that?
I don't understand.
It's an economic issue.
I understand that people in New York pay a vastly amount greater than people in Montana do in taxes.
And so did Floridians. Floridians paid a lot more in taxes.
Okay, so
to the
does that mean
federal
that New York
government.
can get up and secede anytime it wants to?
If they want.
Because the rich hold a privilege?
If they
I mean, that's
want.
effectively your argument, right?
Yeah.
We pay more in taxes, therefore the laws applies to us
Well,
differently. That's your position?
And that the
No,
10th
no, no,
Amendment
no.
gives us
It's
the
a-
right
a
to
10th
secede.
Yes,
Like,
it
that
does.
is amazing. I have never, in all of my years of studying the Constitution, I've never, ever heard that argument. And that
What does
is
the 10th Amendment say?
amazing. The 10th Amendment verbatim, I don't know it off the top of my head, but it
just-
says that the
just
rights,
basically all
that
the rights
says
that are
rights
not-
not enumerated to the national government and not denied to the states are reserved to the states
There's
and the people
nothing
respectively.
denied to the states.
Yes, there are.
Well, they
the
can't
peop-
coin money.
They can't
Right,
coin
there are
money.
things that are denied to the
Things,
states.
certain
Right.
limited
So
things.
whether it's 1 or 10, it is still something that is
But it's
denied
not a
to
sovereign,
them.
though. Sovereignty remains in the states. They had
States don't
I
have
believe,
sovereign-
I believe in what we call the compact theory of government.
Okay, tell me about that. I'm curious to hear.
Okay, when the United States started,
I guess you weren't interested in the driving tour. You just wanted a
I was
political
legitimately
No, we were
interested
interested in the map.
This is the one
we
I
were
was
interested in the map.
I was really interested in
know,
this
there
one.
was-
really
there
interested?
was-
I'm serious. Like I knew you had a march.
you want this?
I knew you had a march to the sea one.
if you really look at it, not just trash it,
No, I'm not going to trash it, but I mean, in fairness, I tell you that I thought this was a
why
little
do you
weird,
think?
right?
Why
Like,
do you think it was
Why is it
legitimate
weird?
for?
It's part
No,
of
no, no. Go
Sherman-
back to your compact. No. I want to hear
Okay,
this.
the
Compact theory.
is that the states got together and formed the federal government.
okay,
Their representatives did in Philadelphia in 1887.
Okay.
Now, what did
1787, but yes.
Sorry, you're right. 1787. So what did we live under before that?
The Articles of Confederation.
Right. So you can change that compact, and that was still the states that formed that. When there was a treaty between the empire, whatever you want to call it, Kingdom of England and Great Britain, with the United States to stop hostilities, how did it refer to this territory?
I don't know what you're referencing.
It said the states plural.
Right, you realize why we got rid of the Articles of Confederation was because the states were doing their own thing and the system sucked, right?
Well,
You understand that,
A lot
right?
of people think that the U.S. Constitution sucks now.
Okay.
Most of those people happen to be Democrats.
Okay, but I want to.
What Democrat thinks that the Constitution sucks? What argument is that? I'm about as liberal as they come. I teach the Constitution every day. I love the Constitution.
You probably would have been a Republican under Abraham Lincoln.
Right, because that was what the current Democratic Party is today. The Republicans were born out of the anti-slavery.
That's a disingenuous argument. Mr.
That's
You're an educated man, and certainly you understand.
Well,
that
you're
the party,
educated, and the compact theory
You're
says
educated.
that
Notice
the
how he says
states-
you're educated.
The states are the
Me,
states
however.
form the government.
All right, but I would
and
like
they
some.
control the
I would like
government.
some intellectual honesty from the both of us.
Okay.
I think we both know that the parties have undergone a realignment, and that the Republican Party of Lincoln is not the Republican Party of today. That certain things may have transpired along the way, maybe like the Nixon election and the Southern strategy, and a vast
1932.
a vast number of Democrats exiting the Democratic Party and becoming Republicans, largely on an issue that had
Solid
to do
South used to be Democrats.
So I appreciate the notion that yes, Republicans were the party that freed slaves, and it's totally true, but maybe not the
There you
same
go.
party it is
Thank you
anymore.
very much.
Well, I will engage in intellectual honesty. I won't deny a fact, but I want to understand something. I really do. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not upset at a person who is happy about their heritage. I'm Hispanic, and I celebrate my heritage.
Sure, you
okay?
should.
All right, and that's
Spanish
fine.
brought slavery into Florida.
Okay, and I got that. I'm not so sure that Spanish brought slavery into Florida.
Oh, of course they did.
Okay.
Pensacola, St. Augustine,
Mission, slavery,
Mission San Luis.
Okay.
missions everywhere.
Yeah, Mission San Luis.
You've brought slavery into America, Justin. That's what
Well,
we figured out.
America, it's
Sorry,
America.
Florida. Just Florida.
Thank you, Spanish.
Here's what I would say then. Assuming that is true, and I don't know if it is or it isn't,
Well,
I will
you
accept
can
that it's
look it
true.
up.
I will accept that it's true for purposes of the conversation. As a person who in any way bears any blame for what my ancestors did as a part of slavery, I renounce it, reject it, I decry it as completely inappropriate, and I shun and shame my ancestors for the atrocities that they committed. Can you say the same?
Yes, I do. But my ancestors didn't commit any atrocities.
They didn't have slaves?
They didn't have slaves.
Not a single one.
I wish
You can
they
be
had.
positive of that?
You wish they had.
slaves?
Well, economically speaking, at the time, that was the way to make money. But if they had, all they were dirt farmers.
Okay, so you
But
wish
when
your
they-
family had been richer, even though the expense would have come at the lives of other people?
No, I wish they had been able to use the economic opportunities available.
So
at
you
the
wish
time,
they would have had slaves?
Which were
Okay.
which were available in New York City and Massachusetts, where they funded the slave trade.
Okay, but when people say things like, I think the South, as a general proposition, stood in defense of slavery, and therefore,
No, it stood in defense of its economic.
okay, and I get it. Like, there's no way to distance the fact that slavery was part of the economic model of the South.
True.
Okay, and so if you're defending the
That's
economy, you are by extension defending the thing that makes the machine run.
No,
No?
How?
no.
So if I went out to California and I was hanging out in Silicon Valley and I wanted to champion the economy, I wouldn't be championing the internet and the internet economy. I wouldn't be championing software development. That's not what I would be championing.
If you're for Silicon Valley, you're championing exploitation of Mexican workers picking grapes.
Okay, I want to back up.
See, that's the same
I said a very specific place and you changed
You're
the conversation.
championing
No.
Guatemalans cutting sugarcane
You took
in the
my
Everglades.
You took my conversation and you changed it to a different topic.
Well, so did
I
you.
picked a very no. I asked you a question. The question was, if slavery was a fundamental part of the economy of the South and the war was to defend the economy, then by extension they had to be
It was-
defending slavery.
It was really more about defending the sovereignty of the state.
But the states are not
Well, let me
a
ask you this
unique
then. The war was fought for free
entity.
slaves
Yes, they
then,
are.
right?
Yes,
So you
they
had
are.
slaves,
No,
they wanted
they're
to keep
not.
those slaves
They're
under
No, the war was fought to put down an
That's
uprising.
Why the articles
Teach history.
I mean,
The-
I want to be clear.
the
Did war
articles-
What
start
was the uprising?
were
When the South
completely
seceded.
gotten rid of. They got together.
because
Yes, they
wanted
were.
to
They
continue
got
having slavery.
They got together in 1787.
But
they weren't-
Excuse me.
Well,
They
they
got
wanted
together in
slavery. How come
1787 and
when
said,
Maryland
"Let's
was in the
fix
Union,
these." They
Delaware was
realized
in the
they could
Union,
not fix them,
New
and they
Jersey
threw them out. They
Kentucky, I
threw them
believe,
out and they started over.
They had
They
slaves,
started
right? So why
over.
didn't they?
Yes,
I
they
don't know why they
did.
didn't. I wasn't there.
Yes,
Wasn't
they
involved.
absolutely did. They
Well,
threw out the
they
Articles of
anybody.
Confederation and started
They
over.
kept a number of the provisions.
Talking across each other. Tell me honestly. I will ask you. What is your opinion as to why the war started?
The war started over economics and taxes.
Okay, and what was the economic issue that was at play?
Well, the biggest one was taxes and tariffs over
Taxing
imports and
tariffs.
exports
Okay.
coming in and out because at the time in land sales, the South had the land to sell.
That's right.
And the South was trading with the world. They were free
and so
traders.
slavery played no part in
morale-
that.
the
The fact
morale-
that they were trying to take away
I'll
slavery.
I'll see to you that you're right. I mean, it's just like if you try to take illegal immigrants out of this or Mexican immigrants from the South America, Central America.
Okay.
They're part of our economy today.
We're finding common ground,
Yeah.
and I like that. We are finding places where we can at least agree.
You're finding it's in there, but there's more to it than that. You don't see where when the North declared war on the South, because again, where did it say in the Constitution, you're in this marriage, you cannot come out of this marriage? Where did it ever say that?
Well,
Where did it say the people get together in convention?
Sure, they can
which
leave,
is
but
a
then
sovereign-
that second that it
does
happens,
it say-
if they're no
Then-
longer part of the country, then Lincoln has every
where
right
does
to
it
go
say,
back in
I
there and try
wanna
to take
invade?
them.
So
You're
he's a
saying he
tyrant,
has a
then he
right to
invades them.
invade. I
wanna
He has
ask
a
you-
right
you're
to
saying he
invade.
has a right
So
to
any
invade.
country, any
Well,
country
wait.
that invades another country is a tyrant.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Do we want to go
Pretty
there?
much.
didn't we invade the Americas?
They invaded a
I
sovereign
mean,
country. You're telling me it's a
didn't
sovereign,
the
not
ancestors, in
Americans.
fairness, aren't the people that formed your ancestors the people who are just the descendants of the invaders of the Americas way back?
You mean Christopher Columbus?
Didn't we invade them?
Christopher
Yes,
Columbus.
some of them were Spanish. You're absolutely
Yeah.
correct.
But
However,
were
a good
some
number
of them?
Well, a good number of them were I don't know if you're aware, but
I've
I've
heard
seen a
of
lot of pictures of the
conquistadores.
Pilgrims, and there's not a lot of guys named Diaz and Gomez
Let's
in
face
the
it. All right,
Pilgrim
let's
pictures.
even back up further than that. Let's
Yeah.
go human
Tell me-
history,
tell
because
me
these are all
Aztecs.
human history
Okay.
stories.
Sure.
You have something nice, I don't. What's
Uh-huh.
the story of human nature? Why
Right,
do we
it's
have
called
laws?
force theory.
Exactly. You come and take it.
Okay,
Right.
but I want
So
But that doesn't
it doesn't
go
make it
to
right. But again, when that's the world you live in, that's how you have to live. Just like today, there's a lot of things going on I don't like, but that's the world we live in. You have to deal with it. I can't change it. You can't change it.
Okay, so I want to go back if we can, because I feel like at least you and I are making some progress.
You think what was your opinion of George Washington?
My opinion, I don't have it. I
Do you
mean,
think he was a traitor to Great Britain?
They were all considered
They were
traitors.
all considered traitors.
It was all
Okay.
treason,
Was he
which
a
is
good-
why,
was he a good
which
guy
whoa,
or
which
bad
is why
guy?
it took from
Well, I don't know him
1763
personally,
to
so I don't know.
1776
I
to
mean,
even
if you mean
sign
in
the
general
Declaration
sense.
of Independence.
Well, that's
It was
right.
not
See,
an
in the
immediate
general
thing. They did
sense,
not
the
just decide to
Confederates
sign
were
the
trying to
Declaration.
seek freedom too. So in general sense, they were like George Washington.
And I'm okay with that.
Thank you.
I'm okay with
Thank
that.
you
But I'd
again.
like you to I'd like you to look
He's
at the
not gonna.
ramifications.
He's
of
not
that.
going to be reasonable.
Okay? They weren't a group of people
Can't.
who were
He doesn't
just
know
leaving
how.
You're
because
right. You can't, because you have a group of people in the southern states at the time who voted to say, you know what, we're leaving. We're done with this government. Unlike the American Revolution where they took to arms,
Okay.
there's peaceful ways to do things. I don't believe you have to put a gun to somebody's head to figure things out.
I would imagine because you're a
So-
libertarian, you definitely don't
I'm
want anybody
libertarian.
putting.
Yeah,
Right.
just
There
do
you
your
go.
own thing and be
Okay,
happy
but
about it.
I
Leave
wanna
me
go back.
alone.
I
But
wanna-
hold on. So you have all these people down there that had their sovereign rights, came in convention and voted to say, you know what, we're ending this marriage. It's over. We're leaving peacefully. The South never invaded the North. They just said we're leaving. So what gives that government then to come down and invade? I mean, I don't think we should go to other
power.
countries and
Just
invade
raw-
them.
Well, that's a pretty
raw
libertarian
might.
position.
We shouldn't go to other places and impose our will upon them.
power.
Well, hold
It's raw
on.
power.
I want to go back
so,
to the question you
when
asked
you
me.
when you admit to me that Lincoln, basically invaded a country for money. Again, we had things they wanted. We had the wealth. We had the trade.
I-
They
there
didn't
you go.
like the free trade.
I want to go back to a question you asked me, and I'd like to hear your sincere answer, especially as a libertarian. I think you guys have a pretty interesting view of these sorts of things. Tell me, the question you asked me was, where did it say that you were basically in this marriage and you couldn't exit? That was kind of the
Right,
gist of your
right.
question. Okay. Where is the conversation, or where is the provision that says that I am married to the existing law? Why can't I just break the law myself then? Why can't I just say, I decide I no longer am a person who belongs
You're
to
not a
the...
sovereign entity.
Why am I not?
You're not.
Why?
Because only the territories.
Well, you want to talk about the
Individual
10th Amendment? It
states.
says to the states and the people respectively.
That's right.
He's a person.
I'm a person.
Well,
There you go.
You know, I will admit there are people that are like
The
tax
finer points of law.
that believe in tax personal
I'm not asking about the
sovereignty.
finer points of law.
They're
I'm not
kinda
asking you to
nutty.
quote statutes to me. I'm asking on a fundamental.
You're going down that route because again, you read history, and what the American position was is people are independent and they have the ability to control their own destiny.
Okay.
That's how America came about.
Social
whether they were
contract
traitors,
theory.
whether they were theory
Okay.
or whatever.
And to borrow-
It's not a theory, it's John Locke,
And
like-
everything boiled down on: do you have the power to enforce it?
Okay, and I understand
Anybody
that.
can make any
But I wanna
declaration
go
you
back-
want, only if you have something behind you to back it up.
No.
Which is for no. So people
The idea, no,
people
because you're
just
trying
do
to
the
confuse
right
social
thing.
contract.
No,
Yes, you
no.
are.
People
The
just do
idea
the
of
right-
our country
then why
was
do we
set
have
up.
laws? Then why do
Excuse
we have
me.
laws?
The idea because those laws exist because people say we need those laws to exist.
Right.
And
That's
bind
it.
themselves to them. That's why it's a social contract, because a contract is
Preferably.
binding.
You're going,
No, it's
So
not
you're saying
preferably.
you don't
That's
wanna
what
be
our
bound by the
government was
law.
based
No,
off
that's
of.
not- I
Well,
believe I am bound by the law.
Jefferson
Can we
quoted
change
law.
the law?
They have the power to break
Do we
it.
have
But
the
you're
law?
talking about the
I'm willing to
Constitution
follow the
versus
logic
a
of what
law.
you said to me, and I haven't gotten that far.
When you have a very large group of people that come together and say they're sovereign and say we are done with these bonds, and they choose to go in a certain direction, and another group says absolutely not. They say you're not leaving this marriage. I'm going to go hunt you down. I'm going to break in your house. I'm
Okay.
going to kill you, whatever,
Fine.
subjugate you, whatever it may be. So who's in the wrong here? Who's the aggressor?
I don't
And
want
again,
to.
might makes right. When you win, you just control the people, and they either have a choice. They can either live under the new rules, or they can just be eliminated from the gene pool.
And if
There's
I
a choice
can
to be made.
distance the conversation from right and wrong, which are somewhat more relativistic conversations, okay? I want to go back to what you asked me, and I really want to hear your answer. Your answer was, where does it say that if you were in this marriage, you couldn't leave it, that you were stuck forever?
So where does it say it?
Well, I will see to you that the
doesn't say
Constitution doesn't say it.
Correct.
Now,
And what
but
did the
Constitution
founders say
still-
in their letters
but the
and in their
Constitution-
writings about the sovereignty of the
So
state?
I want-
so they would sign the Constitution and agree to
So
it.
I want to go back
So
to
what,
that
what were
logic.
they
also
saying
wanted-
back and forth? They said we'll only get this compact if
they
you
also-
Andrew
agree.
Gillum, he's for open borders,
They-
right?
He's a-
No,
Well,
and
he
that's
doesn't believe
and that's
he
the
doesn't
thing.
believe in
That's-
sovereignty. See,
No,
if
he-
they're for Gillum,
he doesn't?
Therefore, isn't he for open borders?
No, he's not.
What's he for? He's for sanctuary state?
No.
No, those are great talking points that you guys have.
Phil, I really would like to ask you this question. I've really been
You're
trying
way
to hear
more
your answer.
reasonable.
All right.
I really do want to hear it.
Well, you're an
so-
educated
not
man. I was
for
hoping you
open
had some
borders.
answers
He's
for me.
not.
I'm not. I
Sanctuary
want to hear
state.
your position. I really do.
Maybe
I'm
I'm
trying to
thinking
hear your
of
position. I really am.
What's the
So
question?
the Constitution doesn't say that people couldn't just leave the marriage, but it still doesn't say that people can't just leave the marriage.
Okay.
The U.S. Constitution doesn't say it. The state Constitution doesn't say it. Right.
Okay.
So what stops me from just saying I've decided I am no longer bound by the laws?
You can try that.
When
Good
you're a
luck to you.
sovereign entity,
Well, right. It's a power issue,
when
but set
you're
that
a
aside.
sovereign entity. and
I
you-
am a
and-
sovereign entity.
And you just say,
There's a lot of
again,
people that believe that when it comes
I
to
believe
taxes.
this law has not been fair. I believe I'm within the law and exercising my rights under the law to say I'm leaving you alone. What is it to say you're against bullying? I feel maybe you're trying to bully me now. You're an educated person. I'm just a high school guy.
I'm bullying
Oh
you?
my God.
Well,
poking your
that's
finger at it.
yeah. I was starting off with, hey, you want to know about the tour
I took your
through Georgia?
thing. I accepted it greatly. Thank you.
And then you're going in there. But again, so I walk away. What gives you the right?
I'm not going to follow you if you want to walk away.
Right, you're right. Well, then you're not bullying. So when these states said then voted legally to leave, how come the next guy came in and said no, we're not going to abide by that?
Okay, but I want
They
to go
had
back.
more
I want to go
guns.
back to the central question of
All right,
how
well,
does
that-
society
that-
work. This is where I'm trying to get to you. Okay, your position is that they weren't bound to stay in the marriage, as we're using the analogy as a marriage. Okay, they're not bound to stay in the marriage. That's your position. Now, my assertion to you, which I think is pretty well known, is that the Constitution clearly hasn't been amended to put a thing that says you can't leave the marriage. We haven't amended the Constitution to put that language in there. The state of Florida,
We had a big war that settled that.
but we
issue.
still didn't put it in. We still didn't put it in writing.
Well, again, let's get back.
And you
Yeah,
asked me
big
where it was in
war.
writing. You asked me your question. Show me where it says it. So I go back and I say it still doesn't say it.
That's
So
right.
since it still doesn't say it,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, in terms of a person with a libertarian view of how society functions and how society works and how societies are constructed, what stops me from a person as a person from exercising the ultimate liberty, which is to say I am bound by no man and no law.
Only if you have the authority to back it.
So power.
How?
Okay, so it is an answer of power.
Absolutely
So
it
when
is an
so
answer
when
to power.
so when the United States came in and exerted more power and eventually won, they were right.
No,
because the only
no,
answer
power
why
is
not?
right. Power is right.
Power
is right?
But that
That-
doesn't
that's
make
what you're
right.
saying.
No,
That
that's
doesn't
what
make
you're
it right.
saying.
No, well, then why did they come in and
But your
exert the
answer
power?
to me, your answer to me wasn't
You're
an
going
answer.
around in a
Your
circle.
answer to me wasn't an answer of ethics, and it
You're
wasn't of
going in a
morality.
circle.
No, hold on. I asked you fairly. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
And you're right, and I gave you the answer. You're not accepting it.
No,
When the
I'm following up on
no,
it.
When the people decided to leave peacefully, did the Southerners invade the North? No. They said, we're done.
Could the slaves get up and leave?
No.
That's a separate issue. Did they leave in the northern states?
Why couldn't they leave?
Did they leave in
Why
the
didn't they
northern
leave?
states?
I don't
Why
know if they
didn't
did or they didn't, but I know that they didn't leave in the
They
South.
didn't. They
They
didn't.
didn't.
Okay.
They were
They
still
didn't.
bound.
Of course, you
Who
realize
did the
that
So the
Emancipation
answer is
Emancipation Proclamation never
the
freed
North was
anybody.
doing
We
it
know
wrong,
that.
so
Yes.
the South
We know
could do
that.
it
Yes,
wrong.
we
So
do.
I mean,
Lincoln
I'm
was
trying
the
to understand. I
bad
really
guy.
am. I asked
There
you
you
a
go.
question, and I'll ask it
Don't
again.
talk to
Have
me
a
anymore.
democratic process or not? Well, the
You
people
know one
got
thing. That's
together under
one
their
step there.
sovereignty,
You realize
had a convention.
Lincoln was
The
not
slaves
a
got together
wonderful
and had a
guy.
sovereign
They
process
didn't
that was
have- They
democratic?
didn't have rights, and they're 2/3 of a person.
Okay,
in
do
the
you
US.
think that was
3/5,
wrong?
not
Three-fifths
2/3.
Under
Do you
know
think
why
that was
it was
wrong?
2/3 would be more.
It may be
You know why
wrong, it
it's
may not.
3/5.
It may be wrong that
but
people
you
were
don't-
slaves and weren't.
It's wrong, but then how do you solve it until you have the power to fix it?
Well, I think the
When
South
do you
had
get
the
the
power to
power?
fix it. They could have just said, we're
Why
going to let
didn't
the
the
people
United
vote.
States?
Okay,
How come
I don't want you
the
near me.
US
You're like,
I don't understand, but I
okay, so his point of you following
From
me and being a
1776.
bully, there you go.
Why didn't?
Okay, I moved away from you. I told you I didn't want you to talk to me,
Anyway,
and you just
It was
followed
a good
me.
argument. I enjoyed it. Have a good one,
Thank
Rachel.
you.
Okay.